So, what have we learned? A whole book of Torah? And what have we learned? How is it different now than from, pardon the pun, in the beginning? One obvious point is the issue of fratricide. One brother literally killing another brother, as happened on the first day with Cain and Hevel. And all throughout the book of Genesis, you have the generation of Noah where nobody got along. Avram had to leave his family. Ishmael had to be banished. Esav and Yaakov had their issues. Yosef, the nicest brother, is the one who sold him into slavery. The others wanted to kill him. And finally, in this week's parsha, we get a resolution. When Yaakov quite literally crosses up his son Yosef, his favorite son, the one that he loves, and gives the primary blessing to the younger son, to Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. And yet there's no rebellion, there's no banishment, there's no jealousy or envy. They grow up together to the point that forever do parents bless their children to have the brotherhood of Ephraim and Manasseh. And then maybe there's another lesson. Our parsha begins with Yaakov insisting that Yosef swear that he not bury him even temporarily in Mitzrayim. And yet our parsha ends with Yosef adjuring his contemporaries to swear that when Hashem will take them out of Egypt, then his body should be reinterred in Eretz Yisrael. Why is it that Yaakov insists on being buried immediately in the cave of Machpelah, whereas Yosef is content to have his body buried only when the Jewish people leave? Herein lies the two different perspectives of how best to be supportive of the Jewish people in the coming slavery and difficulty of Egypt. Yaakov takes the position that one who is in prison cannot free himself. And so he needs to be outside of the experiment in order to be a source of inspiration for his people. Yosef takes the position that he needs to be with the people in the exile, in the burden, and there he will serve as a source of support and of confidence that we will one day get out of this. Perhaps herein lies the lesson. There is no definitive right or wrong way. There is the Yaakov Avinu way. There is the Yosef HaTzadik way. There is the way of being supportive by being outside of the experiment. There's the way of being supportive by being within the challenge of one another. Perhaps this capacity to recognize that each one of us has the ability to serve Hashem distinctively from another is the lesson that the book of Genesis concludes with as the support and the launch for us to endure the bitter exile that is about to begin, where we will open up the book of Shmos at Mincha time. Yaakov calls in his family, his children. He gives them each their individual path in the service of Hashem. Let us not aspire for identical service of Hashem. Let us aspire to each of us collectively, pooling our individual powers. And in that manner, we will be of support to one another. Each man to his friend will say, Chazak. Good Shabbos.